Apple's just announced iPad OS 17 at WWDC, and the only exciting new feature for me personally this year is the ability to use an external webcam with your iPad to do things like FaceTime and Zoom calls. This supports the standard USB webcam interface, so you can plug in any external monitor that has a webcam built in, like an Apple Studio display. You can use any proper webcam, like those you get from Logitech and others. You can also use the webcam mode on any DSLR or mirrorless camera. And finally, you can also use a USB to HDMI webcam adapter to plug in cameras that have a HDMI output, but don't support a webcam mode. The only devices that won't work are any mirrorless cameras that require you to install third-party software on your computer to get them to show up as a webcam, as you can't install that software on your iPad. As this is beta software, I wouldn't recommend installing it on your phone, because if you do have some problems, maybe you're going to miss calls, or while you're driving you're going to lose your navigation or something like that. But I'm prepared to take the risk on my iPad, because if something does go wrong, it's not really a big deal to me. Previously, if you wanted to install Apple beta software, you had to have a registered developer account, but this year with iPad OS 17 and iOS 17, anybody can install them. To install the update, go to Settings, General, Software Update, tap Beta Update, choose iPad OS 17. Now iPad OS 17 should appear next time you look for updates. Now that that's installed, I'm going to test it out by making 2 FaceTime calls. For the first one, I'm going to plug in my Fujifilm X-H2 set up in webcam mode directly into the iPad. The iPad's picking up the X-H2 video feed, so now I'm going to give Mason a call because we've been super nerdy friends since before the iPhone 4 came out. Hey man, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
That's a cool camera angle. Yeah, so this is iOS 17, and I've just plugged my Fuji camera into the iPad, so I'm actually FaceTiming through the iPad. Can you see a difference in image quality? Like, does this look way better than like an iPhone camera, or is it sort of the same to you?
Looks the same, although I can see this blurring in the background.
Yeah, okay.
So do you have an effect on it, or is that just how it is?
No effects. So that's just like natural background blur.
Okay, so it's focusing. So I noticed before then when you lean forward, you went out of focus. When you lean back and forwards, it goes in and out of focus.
Oh yeah, sweet. Cheers man, thanks for helping me test.
Yes.
Alright, bye.
Yeah.
That worked great, and it was super easy to set up. From what I've read online, the Fujifilm X-H2 can last for up to 3 hours in webcam mode using just the internal battery. Now for the second test, I'm going to give Daniel a call. Daniel shoots with a Canon C70, so for this call, I'm really going to need to bring out the FX6. Unfortunately, the FX6 doesn't have an inbuilt webcam mode, so I'm going to have to use a HDMI to USB webcam dongle. Now there's a lot of these on the market. The Camlink's the most popular. I've got a no-name brand one that I picked up during the pandemic, but they should all work the same. On the Fuji, we'll be using the 23mm lens, but to change things up, I'm going to use the 14mm ultra-wide lens on the FX6. Hey man, how you doing? Thanks man. Can you actually see a difference, like in all honesty, or does it look like the same sort of stuff? Oh, okay, yeah. Sweet, all right, I'm going to try a live lens swap, now that you've pointed out that it's not dramatic enough. All right, how's that? Is that more noticeable? Okay, so you guess what the first lens was, like bang on. Guess what this one is? Yeah. So if you look at this shot, does it look like 10 times better than an iPhone, or is it sort of a bit better, but only if you're a nerd you'd notice? Sweet, all right, thanks a lot. Thanks for helping me out. All right, laters. Both setups worked perfectly, and there's a dramatic visual upgrade compared to anything I've ever seen come out of an iPad or an iPhone. As this is the first day that the beta's been out, I've only had time to test it in FaceTime with both setups so far, so I haven't tested Zoom, Teams, Slack, or any other third-party video conferencing software yet, and I'm sure it will either work, or if it doesn't work yet, they will solve that out before the final iPad OS 17 release. If you have any questions or feedback, please leave that in the comments below. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video.